Welcome back. Today we're talking about angles of elevation. So an angle of elevation is the angle between the line of sight and the horizontal line when the observer looks upwards. So we have a picture here, we have a tree. So our little person, the line of sight is from their eye level to wherever they're looking at. So in this case it's the top of the tree. That's your line of sight. And then the horizontal, that's from your eye level horizontal, so straight in front of you. Okay? So then your angle of elevation, that's the angle that is created by those two lines. Alright, so let's look at some examples. We're still going to be using our trig functions here. So for this first example, we have a couple different lines going on. So we're starting here at point A, and we have a line that goes up to B, and we have from A up to D. So this asks us, what is the measure of angle CAD? C to A to D. So that means we're looking at this bigger angle here. Okay? Alright, so in order to find the measure of angle CAD, we have some different information. We know from A to C is 2,025 meters. From point C to B is 400, and from B to D is 50. Okay? So when we look at those, from angle A, this piece here would be considered an adjacent. So if you remember, I said make sure you're labeling all of those pieces. So we have an adjacent. So then over on this side, this would be considered our opposite. Okay, so opposite and adjacent, that means we're going to be using tangent. So tangent of angle CAD equals, and then what would my ratio be? This is opposite over adjacent. My opposite, I have 400 plus the 50, because I want to go all the way up here to D. So plus 50. My adjacent, that's just this one here, so 2,025. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and combine the top. So I have 450 over 2,025 equals tangent of angle CAD. Alright, so then from here, I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to figure out what this fraction is as a decimal. So 450 divided by 2,025, and remember we hit the Control Enter to change that to a decimal. So then on my calculator, I'm getting, I know it's hard to read here, but I'm getting decimal 22222. It just keeps on repeating with the twos. Okay, so you can do that way. So this is approximately decimal 222. Remember, we're going 5 places, so 5 of those. So then I'm going to be dividing by tangent because I want the angle by itself. So divide by tangent. Now if you remember, we can't leave that tangent in the bottom by itself. It has to have something with it. So we're going to say angle CAD equals tangent -1 times that decimal, all those twos. Okay? So then typing it in to our calculator, we're hitting, apologize there, it went black on me. We're hitting the inverse tangent. Okay? Scoot that over so you can see it. So the inverse tangent, that's tangent to the -1, and then we're hitting 22222 and enter, and we end up with 12.5287, and we're going to go to the nearest tenth, so that would be 12.5. Okay, let me just adjust this a little bit. So angle CAD is approximately 12.5 degrees. And don't forget that label of degrees there. Okay? Alright, so what is the measure of angle CAD? Approximately 12.5 degrees. Alright, let's do one more. So this time we have a word problem. We pull up a little bit so we can see the whole word problem at once. So the angle of elevation from point A to the top of a cliff is 34 degrees. If point A is 1,000 feet from the base of the cliff, how high is the cliff? So for this one, we're going to be drawing a picture. So it tells us the angle of elevation from point A to the top of a cliff. So I'm going to have a cliff here. So here's my cliff. Okay. And I've got some other point that's clear out here. Said that was point A to the top of a cliff. So I'm just going to draw a line from A to the top of the cliff. And then if you remember, we said it's with the horizontal. So we're going to go straight out there. So this is my angle of elevation, and that is 34 degrees. It says if point A is 1,000 feet from the base of the cliff, so this is 1,000 feet to the base of the cliff, how high is the cliff? So we're trying to find this piece over here. Okay? Alright, so now that we have our picture, we can start setting this up. So I'm looking at this angle 34, and I'm going to label my pieces. Well, this is my adjacent. This is my opposite. So opposite and adjacent, I'm going to be using tangent. So tangent of my angle, which is 34 degrees, equals, we want opposite over adjacent, so x over 1,000. X over 1,000. Alright, so we're trying to solve for x. We have our equation here. So in order to get x by itself, we need to get rid of this 1,000. They divided, so we're going to multiply by 1,000 on both sides. Okay, so on the right hand side, those cross each other out. We're left with 1,000 tangent 34 degrees equals x. So we're going to punch that into our calculator. So I've got 1,000, and then I'm going to go to my trig functions. I want tangent of 34, enter, and we get, I'm getting 674.509. Again, we're going to go to the nearest tenth, so that would be 674.5. So 674.5, and my label here, these are feet, equals x. Okay? Alright, that's all for today. That was our angles of elevation. And tomorrow we will have angles of depression. Have a great evening. I'll see you in class tomorrow.